The rain hammered against the windshield as Hannah Reynolds tightened her grip on the Mercedes door handle, her heartbeat thudding louder than the storm outside. She hadn't planned to take her husband's car that night. Logan always kept the keys to himself. But a sudden work emergency had left her scrambling. She slid into the driver's seat, tossing her bag onto the console, when something glossy and unfamiliar caught her eye. A small, Tiffany blue box. Perfect. Untouched. Hidden, yet not hidden enough. Her pulse quickened. Her first instinct was denial. Maybe it was for her. Maybe Logan had finally remembered their anniversary next week. Maybe, for once, he wasn't lying. Her fingers trembled as she opened the lid. Inside lay a diamond necklace. Delicate, brilliant, breathtaking. The kind of luxury piece you don't buy on a whim. The kind of gift that means something. But it wasn't the necklace that made her blood run cold. It was the receipt folded beneath it. To Aurora Kane. Her stomach twisted violently. The storm outside suddenly felt like it was happening inside her chest. Aurora was the PR woman Logan insisted he barely knew. The same woman who'd laughed too hard at his jokes during corporate events. The same woman whose perfume lingered on his suits far too many times. Hannah's hand clamped over her mouth as a wave of nausea and betrayal surged through her. Lightning flashed, illuminating the cabin, and in that split second, she remembered every excuse Logan had thrown at her these past months. Late meetings, sudden trips, nights he didn't come home. It all connected, and it all hurt. Before she could process another thought, her phone buzzed violently. A text from Logan popped onto the screen. "Don't go anywhere tonight. I need the car." Her heart stopped. How did he know she had it? And why did the message sound less like a request and more like a warning? Somewhere deep inside Hannah, a truth began to sharpen. This wasn't just infidelity. It was the beginning of something much darker. The rain had slowed by the time Hannah pulled into their driveway, but inside her chest, the storm only grew louder. She walked through the front door quietly, the Tiffany box still in her coat pocket, its weight heavier than metal should ever feel. The house was spotless. Logan always insisted on perfection. But tonight, the silence felt staged, almost rehearsed. She toed off her shoes and noticed his briefcase on the marble counter, his MacBook Pro still glowing. He never left it unattended, not once in 10 years of marriage. Her stomach tightened. Something was wrong. Something had been wrong for months. It began subtly. Logan started coming home late, blaming unexpected system outages or last-minute board meetings. At first, she believed him. She always believed him. But then he stopped letting her do their shared expenses, claiming he was better at it. She brushed it off as stress, but deep down, she remembered how he used to gently place his credit card in her palm when they bought groceries together. When had that man disappeared? Hannah walked to the kitchen sink and splashed cold water on her face, trying to calm her heartbeat. Then she saw it, something she couldn't ignore anymore. Logan's phone, charging on the counter, turned face down. He used to leave it anywhere. Now it was always locked, always guarded, always hidden. And then came the moment that shook her. 2 weeks ago, she woke at 2 a.m. to find Logan whispering in his office, the glow of the screen lighting his face. When she asked who he was talking to, he said, "Work emergency," and shut the door. Work emergencies didn't smell like perfume. Tonight, the weight of all those tiny lies pressed against her ribs. She pulled out the necklace box and opened it again, staring at the diamonds that suddenly looked like teeth, sharp, cold, predatory. That's when Logan walked through the door. He froze. "You're home early." His eyes weren't surprised. They were calculating. She forced a smile. Traffic cleared sooner than expected. He nodded slowly, gaze drifting toward the counter where his phone sat. "Did you touch anything?" A chill rippled down her spine. "No. Should I have?" His jaw tightened, a flicker of something dark passing through his eyes. For the first time,
Hannah realized Logan wasn't just hiding something. He was preparing for something. And whatever it was, she wasn't supposed to know.
The next morning, Manhattan was wrapped in a cold, gray haze. Hannah barely slept, her mind replaying Logan's question. Did you touch anything? Like a warning she hadn't yet understood. By noon, she found herself staring blankly at her MacBook at work, unable to focus on employee reports or onboarding schedules. Every sound felt louder, every email sharper, every breath heavier. At 5 p.m., she received a text from Logan. Late meeting at Silver Pulse. Don't wait up. The same message he'd sent 3 times last week. But something felt different this time. A pull, a pressure behind her ribs, a whisper she could no longer ignore. She grabbed her coat and stepped out into the biting wind, flagging down a yellow taxi. Ritz-Carlton Central Park, she said, voice barely steady. She didn't know why she chose that place. Maybe instinct, maybe memory. Maybe the way Logan had once slipped up saying, "I'll be at the Ritz, the office." She'd laughed it off then. Tonight, she wasn't laughing. When the taxi pulled up, the hotel glowed with warm golden light. Guests drifted in and out in tailored coats, designer luggage trailing behind them. Hannah stepped inside and immediately felt like she didn't belong, too shaken, too exposed, too breakable. The lobby smelled of polished wood and expensive cologne. At the far end, the elevator dinged softly. And then she saw him, Logan, standing beside Aurora Kane. Aurora wore a cream-colored coat belted tightly at the waist, her hair styled in effortless waves. She leaned close to Logan, laughing softly as he rested a hand on her back, too familiar, too intimate to be business. Hannah's vision blurred. Her knees weakened. She stumbled backward, gripping the arm of a leather armchair for balance. In that moment, someone stepped toward her. "Are you all right?" a calm voice asked. She looked up and saw a man, tall, sharp features, a navy suit that fit like it belonged to someone accustomed to boardrooms and power. His name tag from earlier that day still clipped to his briefcase. Ethan Lennox, Senior Financial Analyst. She tried to speak, but her voice cracked. I wasn't supposed to see that." Ethan followed her gaze. His expression tightened, not with surprise, but recognition. "That man has been here more than once," he said quietly. Her breath hitched. "How do you know that?" He hesitated. "I've seen him, and not always with the same woman." The world seemed to tilt. For the first time, Hannah understood. Logan's lies weren't beginning tonight. They had been alive for a very, very long time. The next morning, Hannah woke with the kind of exhaustion that didn't come from lack of sleep, but from the weight of knowing too much. Her chest felt tight, as if every breath carried a shard of truth she wasn't ready to face. Logan was already gone, his side of the bed cold, the faint scent of his cologne lingering like a reminder she no longer wanted. She forced herself to move, to function, to pretend. But halfway through making coffee, her hands shook so badly she spilled half the pot across the counter. She cursed under her breath and reached for a towel, and that's when she noticed Logan's gray wool coat draped carelessly over a dining chair. He never left things lying around. Ever. A pulse of suspicion traveled through her. She hesitated only a second before slipping her hand inside the inner pocket. Her heart stopped. A glossy paper bag from Dior, Fifth Avenue. Inside was the receipt. Crisp, new, impossible to misinterpret. One Dior silk dress, size XS, gift-wrapped, delivery request, Aurora Kane. Hannah felt the blood drain from her face. Her hands trembled as she held the paper closer, hoping, praying she had misread the name. But it was there, printed in bold, elegant font. Aurora. The same woman she watched Logan touch at the Ritz-Carlton. The same woman whose name was on the necklace receipt. The same woman Logan claimed he barely knew.
A soft, painful laugh escaped her. It wasn't amusement. It was disbelief breaking into pieces. She stumbled back, gripping the edge of the counter. The kitchen felt too bright, too clean, too silent. She pressed a hand against her chest, trying to calm her breathing. But every inhale burned. She remembered how Logan used to bring her dresses, not Dior, but the thoughtful ones he picked after she mentioned them once in passing. Now he bought silk and luxury for someone else, someone younger, someone who wasn't her. Suddenly her phone buzzed, a message from Logan. Board meeting today, be home late, don't wait. The same lie, the same script, but now she had proof it was all a performance. And for the first time, Hannah felt something shift inside her, not sadness, not fear, anger. Quiet, simmering, dangerous anger. Because this wasn't just infidelity anymore. It was humiliation, and Logan expected her to stay silent. That evening, Hannah lit candles around the dining room, hoping the warm light would soften the coldness that had settled between them. She cooked Logan's favorite, pan-seared salmon with lemon butter, trying to recreate the kind of night they used to have.
Back when he would come home early, kiss her forehead and tell her she was the best part of his day. Those days felt like another lifetime. The table was set perfectly. The air smelled of rosemary and citrus, and Hannah tried to steady her heartbeat as she heard Logan's key turn in the lock. He walked in talking on his phone, not even glancing her way. "Yeah, I'll send the revised numbers tonight," he said sharply. "Tell her to stop rushing me." Her. The word stabbed deeper than it should have. When he finally hung up, he noticed the candles, the plates, the effort. "What's all this?" he asked, more puzzled than touched. "I thought we could have dinner together," Hannah said softly. "Like we used to." Logan stiffened. "I told you I'd be late. I have work to finish." "You're home now," she whispered. He sighed, dropping his briefcase on the floor. "Hannah, I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy for this." This, as if she had asked for something unreasonable. Still, she swallowed the hurt and tried again. "Can we at least talk? You've been so distant. I just want to understand what's happening." Logan's jaw tightened. "Nothing is happening. You're overthinking, as usual." Her stomach twisted. "Logan, I'm not blind. You've changed. Your schedule, your mood, and you won't even look at me anymore." He brushed past her, heading upstairs. "Because you make everything dramatic. It's tiring." His phone vibrated on the counter. A message flashed on the screen before disappearing. "Aurora, did you tell her you're busy tonight?" Hannah froze. Logan turned around just in time to see her staring at the phone. His face darkened. "Why are you looking at my messages?" She blinked. "I didn't mean to. Your phone lit up. Logan, please, just tell me the truth." He stepped closer, voice low and cutting. "The truth is you're becoming paranoid. And I won't apologize for working hard while you imagine problems." Tears stung her eyes, but she didn't let them fall. Because this moment, his tone, his arrogance, his cruelty, did something unexpected. It didn't break her. It awakened her. For the first time, Hannah realized she wasn't fighting to save a marriage. She was fighting to save herself. Sleep didn't visit Hannah that night. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying Logan's words on a loop. Paranoid, dramatic, tiring. Words meant to silence her. Words meant to make her question her own reality. By sunrise, her chest felt tight, her breaths shallow. She knew these symptoms too well. Her cardiologist had warned her that emotional stress could trigger another arrhythmia episode. Yet she still dragged herself to work, determined to hold it together. But by noon, the pressure in her chest grew unbearable. Her hands trembled as she tried to type. She pressed a palm over her sternum, taking slow, shaky breaths. She couldn't let anyone see her like this, not in a company where weakness traveled faster than truth.
She stepped into an empty conference room, closing the glass door behind her. That's when her phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "You deserve better than what he's doing." Her breath hitched. A second message followed. "If you need proof, check Aurora's Instagram story. It wasn't meant for the public." Hannah's fingers shook as she opened the app. The story was only 3 seconds long, but it was enough.
Aurora had posted a boomerang of 2 champagne glasses clinking in a suite Hannah recognized instantly. The Ritz-Carlton, Suite 2205. The same suite where Logan had taken her for their anniversary 2 years earlier. But the real blow came from the caption. "Celebrating progress. More to come tonight." Progress? More to come tonight? Her knees buckled. She grabbed the edge of the conference table to keep herself from collapsing. A wave of nausea climbed her throat as tears blurred her vision. Logan wasn't distant because of stress. He wasn't cold because of work. He was building a future with someone else, in the same places where he once promised her forever. Her pulse raced wildly, too fast, too uneven. Her vision dimmed at the edges. She fumbled for her medication bottle in her bag, but her fingers slipped, sending pills scattering across the carpet. At that moment, the door opened. "Hannah?" a voice said, deep, steady. It was Ethan Lennox. His eyes widened when he saw her pale face, her shaking hands, the spilled pills. "Sit down," he ordered gently. "You're going to pass out. Breathe. I'm right here." And for the first time since the nightmarish puzzle began, she let herself collapse into the chair. Not because she was weak, but because she finally realized Logan's betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was destroying her. And if she didn't fight back soon, she wouldn't survive it. Ethan guided Hannah out of the conference room and into the hallway, his hand steady on her back. "You need air," he murmured, and she didn't resist. The moment they stepped outside, the cold Manhattan breeze hit her cheeks, cooling the heat of panic rising under her skin. For a few minutes, they simply stood there, Hannah breathing in uneven gasps, Ethan watching her carefully like she might collapse again. She hated needing help, but right now, she was hanging on by a thread. "Thank you," she whispered. "You don't have to thank me," he replied softly. "Just don't face this alone." She almost laughed. This wasn't a storm anyone could walk into with her. But before she could answer, a car pulled up to the curb. A sleek black Mercedes. Her blood froze. The back door opened, and she stepped out. Aurora Kane. Dressed in a red wrap dress that clung to her like it was tailored for sin, sunglasses perched carelessly on top of her perfect waves. She moved with the confidence of someone who had everything she wanted and expected more. Hannah instinctively stepped back, but Aurora's eyes found hers instantly, and she smiled, a slow, poisonous smile. "Well," Aurora said, walking toward them, heels clicking sharply against the pavement. "I guess we finally meet properly." Ethan stiffened beside Hannah. "This isn't the place." "Oh, relax," Aurora cut him off. Her gaze locked onto Hannah with wicked fascination. "I've been meaning to talk to you." Hannah couldn't breathe. Up close, Aurora was even more beautiful and more dangerous. The type of woman who could unravel a marriage with a single whisper. "What do you want?" Hannah managed. Aurora shrugged, her diamond bracelet catching the afternoon light. "Just to clear the air. Logan told me you'd be emotional, but I didn't expect—" She gestured vaguely to Hannah's trembling hands. "This level of fragility." Ethan stepped forward. "Enough!" But Aurora wasn't finished. "Oh, I almost forgot." She tapped her phone. "Logan asked me to remind you he'll be working late tonight." Her smile sharpened. Again. Hannah felt her heart twist painfully, not because of the words, but because Aurora enjoyed them. Every single one. Then Aurora leaned in, lowering her voice. "He chose me, Hannah.
It's time you accept it. Hannah didn't cry. She didn't shake this time. Instead, something inside her hardened. Because for the first time, she saw Aurora clearly, not as the woman Logan loved, but as the woman he would destroy, just like he was destroying her. And Hannah suddenly realized she wasn't the only one living in a lie. That night, after hours of pacing the apartment like a ghost trapped in her own home, Hannah finally forced herself to do something she had been avoiding for weeks. She pulled the Tiffany box out of her coat pocket and set it on the kitchen counter beneath the soft glow of the pendant lights.
The necklace looked even more blinding under the warm light. Cold, expensive, merciless. A perfect symbol of everything that was slipping through her fingers. But the receipt, that was the real weapon. Aurora Kane. The name burned into her memory like a bruise that wouldn't fade. She knew she needed answers, real ones, answers Logan would never willingly give her. So she made a decision. She would go to Tiffany & Company on Fifth Avenue. The boutique was quiet when she arrived the next morning, the kind of quiet that felt padded with velvet. A consultant with a sleek bun and a soft smile greeted her. "Welcome to Tiffany. How may I help you today?" Hannah swallowed hard and placed the necklace box on the counter. "I'd like to verify a purchase." The woman opened the box, her trained eyes immediately recognizing the piece. "Ah, the celestial diamond drop necklace. Stunning choice." "It wasn't my choice," Hannah murmured. The woman typed a code into the system, the screen reflecting in her calm eyes. "May I have the receipt?" Hannah handed it over with trembling fingers. The consultant glanced at the name, then at Hannah, surprise flickering across her professional facade. "Oh, this necklace wasn't purchased for Aurora Kane." Hannah blinked. "What?" "According to our records, this piece was reserved for a Valerie Kincaid." The woman paused. "It was specially engraved." The bottom dropped out of Hannah's stomach. "Engraved? With what?" The consultant turned the necklace over under the light, revealing a tiny inscription Hannah hadn't noticed. "For VK, you deserve the world." Her breath caught. Not Aurora. Not her. Someone else. Someone with initials VK. Someone who deserved the world. Someone Logan was hiding even from his mistress. The consultant lowered her voice. "Mrs. Reynolds, is everything all right?" Hannah stepped back, vision spinning. Aurora wasn't the only woman. She wasn't even the true woman. Logan had another lie, another betrayal, another secret. Her marriage wasn't cracking. It was collapsing into a labyrinth of deceit so deep she could no longer see the bottom. Hannah stepped out of Tiffany & Company, feeling like the sidewalk was tilting beneath her. The city buzzed around her, honking taxis, distant sirens, clicking heels, but all she could hear was the consultant's voice echoing in her head. This necklace was for Valerie Kincaid. You deserve the world. Who was Valerie? Why did Logan need two women in secret? And how much deeper did this betrayal go? Her phone vibrated in her hand. A text from an unsaved number. "We need to talk. ASAP." Before she could respond, she heard someone call her name. "Hannah!" She turned to see Ethan Lennox jogging up the sidewalk, out of breath, his suit slightly rumpled, like he'd left a meeting mid-sentence. He reached her, eyes scanning her face with genuine concern. "I've been trying to find you," he said. "You didn't answer your work phone." She blinked. "I had an errand." Ethan looked at the Tiffany bag still dangling from her hand. "I see that." His tone wasn't judgmental, just cautious, like he already suspected the truth. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice cracking. "It wasn't for Aurora. The necklace, Logan bought it for someone named Valerie Kincaid." Ethan froze. For a split second, just a fraction, something flickered across his face. Recognition. "Hannah," he said lowly, "you need to listen to me.
Logan isn't just cheating. He's involved in something dangerous. He glanced around as if the skyscrapers themselves could be listening. Silver Pulse is under federal review. Multiple executives are being investigated for financial misconduct, and your husband's name keeps surfacing. Her breath caught. What does that have to do with Valerie? Ethan hesitated. Valerie Kincaid is the chairwoman of the Silver Pulse board. Hannah felt her world tilt again. Logan wasn't just betraying her emotionally. He was building alliances, trading intimacy for power, hiding affairs not for pleasure, but for leverage. He's playing a game you don't want to be caught in, Ethan whispered. You need to protect yourself, your accounts, your phone, everything. Hannah swallowed hard. Why are you helping me? Ethan held her gaze for a long moment.
Because you're the only one in this mess who doesn't deserve to be destroyed.
His words hit her deeper than she expected. For the first time since her world began collapsing, she realized this wasn't just about infidelity. It was about survival. And Logan wasn't just lying to her. He was capable of taking everything from her if she didn't move first. By the time Hannah arrived home that night, her heartbeat was a steady drum of dread. She'd spent the entire cab ride rehearsing what she wanted to say, but the moment she stepped into the living room, the air shifted. Logan was already there, standing in the middle of the room, waiting, like he somehow knew she'd learned too much today. He didn't greet her, didn't smile, just watched her in chilling silence, arms crossed, jaw ticking. "You're late," he finally said. His voice was calm, too calm. "Where were you?" Hannah swallowed hard. "Out." "With who?" She blinked. "Excuse me?" Logan stepped closer. "You heard me." "With who, Hannah?" For months, she had been the one asking questions, begging for answers. Now he was interrogating her. The arrogance of it made her blood boil. "I had an errand," she said firmly. "That's all." His eyes flicked to the Tiffany bag in her hand. "Interesting. You had time to shop, but not to come home?" Something dangerous glinted in his eyes, a silent threat. Hannah took a breath. She couldn't tell him she'd gone to Tiffany to expose his lies. Not yet. She needed to stay ahead of him, not trigger him. "Logan, we need to talk," she said. He laughed, short, sharp, heartless. "You always think we need to talk. About what? Your insecurities? Your fantasies? Your paranoia?" Hannah flinched, but she didn't back down. "I know you've been lying," she whispered. "Your meetings, your trips, your excuses. I saw you with Aurora, and I know the necklace isn't for her." That wiped the smirk off his face. For the first time, Logan looked unsettled. "What did you do?" he asked quietly. Too quietly. Her pulse pounded. "I checked the receipt." He stepped closer, eyes narrowing. "And who told you to do that? Who's putting ideas in your head?" "No one has to put ideas in my head," Hannah snapped. "You're the one acting guilty." Logan's voice dropped into a cold monotone. "You're making a mistake, Hannah. A big one." She lifted her chin. "No, you did." Something shifted in his expression. Something she had never seen before. A flash of fear, or anger, or both. "You have no idea what you're getting yourself into," he hissed. "Drop it. Now. I'm warning you." But Hannah didn't move, didn't speak, didn't bend. Because in that moment, she finally understood. Logan wasn't afraid of losing her. He was afraid of what she might discover next. The morning after their confrontation, Hannah woke with a hollow ache in her chest. Logan had left before dawn. No note, no explanation, not even the usual clatter of him rushing through the hallway. Just silence. The kind that felt like a warning, not peace. She moved sluggishly through the apartment, still replaying his final words from last night. "You have no idea what you're getting yourself into.
He didn't sound defensive. He sounded afraid or threatened. That alone terrified her more than anything she'd discovered so far. Still shaken, she opened his home office door, half expecting it to be locked. To her surprise, it clicked open easily. The room smelled like cedar and cold air. Logan never liked warmth. His desk was spotless, as always, except for his laptop. Left open, unlocked. Hannah froze. Logan never made mistakes.
Her pulse thundered as she stepped closer. The screen showed his email dashboard, one message still highlighted. She hovered her finger over the trackpad, her entire body trembling. It was an itinerary. Los Angeles, Park Hyatt, Suite 3903. 2 guests, 3 nights, paid by corporate card. Contact name, A. Kane, Aurora. But just beneath it was another email, a forwarded confirmation. Dinner reservation, the River House, Beverly Hills, party of 2, reserved under V. Kincaid. Hannah's breath left her in a sharp exhale. Aurora, Valerie Kincaid, both tied to the same trip. 2 women, 2 reservations, 1 husband. Her stomach twisted violently. She clicked the attachment out of impulse and wished she hadn't. It was a scanned form, a signature authorization, Logan's signature, approving a PR travel budget expansion assigned to Aurora. $27,000, all charged to Silver Pulse.
Her vision blurred. This wasn't just cheating. This was corruption, fraud, a career-ending, life-destroying scandal, and her husband was in the middle of it. Her phone buzzed suddenly, making her jump. A text from Ethan. "We need to meet. I found something you should see. And, Hannah, don't be alone with Logan tonight." A chill slid down her spine. Not metaphorical, real, bone deep. She closed Logan's laptop with shaking hands, feeling the walls of her life shift around her. Every lie, every secret, every warning. It was all pointing to one terrifying truth. Logan's betrayal wasn't just romantic or emotional. It was criminal. And if she wasn't careful, she could go down with him. Hannah sat in her parked car outside Barnes & Noble, gripping the steering wheel until her knuckles turned white. She'd come here hoping the familiar quiet of the bookstore cafe might offer her a moment of peace, a breath, a pause, anything. But peace wasn't something her life could give her anymore. Inside, the cafe smelled of espresso and warm pastries. The comforting scents hit her like a memory of her old life, the life before Logan's lies swallowed her whole. She ordered a simple black coffee, but when she tried to lift the cup, her hand trembled so violently she had to set it back down. She was unraveling. Not slowly, not gently, but all at once. She sank into a corner chair, her heart thudding loud enough to drown out the soft indie music playing overhead. She pulled a book from the display beside her, Women Who Run with the Wolves. Her eyes skimmed a random page, but the words blurred together. Her throat tightened. She wasn't running. She was drowning. A message buzzed on her phone. "Ethan, are you safe?" Safe. The word felt foreign. She typed back slowly. "I don't know." A tear slipped down her cheek before she could stop it. She wiped it away quickly, but another one followed. Then another. Someone at a nearby table glanced at her with concern, but she looked away, embarrassed. She hated crying in public. She hated crying at all. But today, she couldn't hold back. All the lies, all the secrets, all the betrayal. Her husband wasn't just unfaithful. He was dangerous. And she was tied to him legally, financially, emotionally. A sudden tightness seized her chest, sharp, crushing. She pressed a hand over her heart, gasping as her pulse spiked erratically. Panic surged through her, hot and suffocating. Not here, not now.
She fumbled for her medication, but her purse slipped off the chair, spilling everything onto the floor.
Lip balm, receipts, her trembling hands searching desperately for the bottle. Hey, it's okay. A pair of hands helped gather her things. Hannah looked up. Ethan. He must have driven straight over the moment she texted him. You're not okay, he said softly, kneeling beside her. And you don't have to pretend anymore. Her breath broke. A sob escaped, and she finally let herself cry openly, raw, shaking, terrified. Because this wasn't a heartbreak moment. It was a survival moment. And if someone didn't pull her out soon, Logan's lies were going to swallow her whole. Ethan guided Hannah out of the cafe and into his car, turning on the heat as she pressed trembling hands against her knees. Her breathing had steadied, but the fragile look in her eyes told him the panic hadn't gone far. Drink this, he said, handing her a bottle of water. She took a small sip, then whispered, You said you found something. Something I should see. Ethan hesitated, gripping the steering wheel as if he were weighing whether the truth would help her or break her further. Finally, he glanced at her. I didn't want to tell you until you were stable, but, Hannah, this isn't just about Logan cheating. His jaw tightened. Your husband is being investigated for financial misconduct, and not small scale. Millions. Her heart sank. Millions? She echoed. Silver Pulse has been moving money through shell accounts connected to PR events, the same ones Aurora helps coordinate. He paused. And Logan's signature is on nearly every approval. Her breath hitched. So, Aurora, she isn't just a mistress. She's involved in the fraud? Ethan exhaled. She might not even know the full scope, but she's definitely part of something bigger. Hannah swallowed hard. And Valerie Kincaid? That's the worst part, Ethan said quietly. Valerie is the board chair. Logan isn't just cheating with her, he's aligning himself with her. If Silver Pulse goes down, she's the one with enough power to bury the evidence, and anyone connected to it. Her pulse quickened. Including me? Ethan looked at her with devastation in his eyes. Yes. If Logan uses your joint accounts or your name on anything, the investigation could pull you in, even if you're innocent. Hannah's stomach dropped. How long have you known? She whispered. A week, Ethan admitted. I didn't want to worry you until I had proof. And now you do? He nodded gravely and reached into his briefcase. He handed her a printed document. Email logs, transaction records, travel budgets, all with Logan's approval. Suddenly the room spun again, but this time not from panic, from rage, from betrayal, from clarity. He's destroying everything, she whispered. Our marriage, my health, my future, my freedom. Ethan's voice softened. Which is why you need to protect yourself, starting now. She stared at the documents, her hands steadying for the first time in days. Because finally, she saw the truth clearly. Logan wasn't just cheating on her. He was setting her up. And she had almost walked right into the trap. Hannah sat in Ethan's car long after he finished explaining the documents, the city lights blurring outside the windshield. She felt hollow, like something inside her had cracked, not loudly, but in a deep, irreversible way. Logan wasn't just unfaithful. He wasn't just cruel. He was dangerous, and he was using her without hesitation. She took a shaky breath. Ethan, what does Logan gain from involving Valerie Kincaid? Why both women?
Ethan rubbed his temples. Valerie can protect him at a corporate level. Aurora gives him cover for personal expenses. Logan is building a safety net of people he can manipulate. Her pulse spiked. But where do I fit in? You're the legal buffer, Ethan said quietly. He funnels money through accounts under your shared name. If the investigation tightens, you're the first one they'll question, because it's your signature on some of the old joint documents. Her stomach dropped. But I didn't sign anything. You didn't have to. Ethan's eyes darkened. Logan is skilled at forging approvals. And your old signatures? They're saved in his system. A wave of nausea rolled through her. Logan wasn't just cheating on her. He was framing her. Her phone buzzed suddenly. A bank alert. Transfer of $12,500 completed. Her breath caught. She opened the notification with trembling fingers. The transfer came from their joint savings account. Sent to Aurora Kane. Memo. Consulting retainer. Her vision blurred. Oh my God. He's using my account. My name. Ethan snatched the phone gently from her to examine it. His jaw clenched. Hannah, this is exactly what I was worried about. These transfers tie you directly to their operation. If the feds see this, I'll look guilty, she whispered. Yes. A sob escaped her throat, raw, involuntary. She pressed a hand over her mouth to stifle it, but the pain was too sharp. He's going to ruin me, she choked. I'll lose everything, my job, my savings, my reputation, my freedom. Ethan quickly unbuckled his seatbelt and turned to face her fully. His voice was firm, steady. Listen to me.
Logan may have started this, but he doesn't get to finish it. Not if we act now, not if we're smarter. We? She whispered. Ethan nodded once. I'm not letting you fight this alone. A tear slid down her cheek, not from fear this time, but from something softer. Hope. The smallest spark of it. Because for the first time in weeks, someone was finally standing between her and the man trying to destroy her. Hannah sat on the edge of Ethan's couch, clutching a throw pillow like a lifeline. After leaving the bookstore parking lot, he insisted she shouldn't go home, not until they had a plan. She didn't argue. She couldn't. Her entire world felt like it was collapsing in real time. Ethan placed 2 mugs of steaming tea on the coffee table. Drink. You need to stay grounded if we're going to do this. To what? She whispered. Protect you. She looked at him, eyes swollen from crying. Ethan, Logan is smarter than you think. He covers every track. He plans everything. I've been 2 steps behind him for months. Ethan shook his head. Not anymore. She exhaled shakily. What makes you so sure? He pulled a folder from his briefcase, thick, heavy, intimidating. Because I've spent years investigating the way men like Logan operate. And because I know something he doesn't. She blinked, confused. What? Ethan leaned forward, voice low. He thinks you're too broken to see the trap. Too loyal to question him. Too scared to move. Hannah swallowed hard. But he doesn't know you're not alone anymore, Ethan finished. Her chest tightened, not with panic this time, but with something warmer. Trust, hope, desperation for safety. Ethan opened the folder. Inside were copies of bank statements, travel itineraries, and leaked internal documents from Silver Pulse. First, he said, you need to separate your finances. Open a private account. Move whatever you can today. Hannah nodded, though fear lingered. He'll notice. He already assumes you're fragile, Ethan replied. Use that. Let him underestimate you. The second step was harder. You need to collect evidence, real evidence, screenshots, statements, backups of emails he doesn't know you have access to. Hannah's pulse spiked. If Logan catches me, then I won't let him, Ethan cut in. I'll help you do it remotely. You won't even be in the same house. She looked at him, stunned. Why are you doing all this? Ethan's expression softened. Because you deserve a life that isn't built on lies. And because... He paused. Because I care what happens to you. Her breath caught. Before she could respond, her phone vibrated violently. A message from Logan. Be home in 20. We need to talk. Her blood ran cold. Ethan reached for her hand, steady and unshaken. "It's starting," he said. "But this time, you'll be ready." For the first time, Hannah didn't feel helpless. She felt dangerous, and she finally had someone standing beside her. Hannah stood in the dim glow of her apartment's living room, every lamp switched off except one beside the couch. Her heart was pounding so loudly she could feel it in her throat. Ethan had insisted on staying nearby, parked in his car down the street, just in case Logan's temper turned into something worse. The lock clicked. Logan stepped inside. But the man who walked through the door wasn't angry. He wasn't confrontational. He wasn't suspicious. He was smiling. A soft, charming, practiced smile she had fallen for years ago. "Hannah," he said warmly, shrugging off his coat. "You look tired. Come sit with me." She froze. This wasn't him. Not the Logan she'd seen for months. Not the man who called her paranoid. Not the man who hid women and money behind closed doors. This was the version of Logan she hadn't seen in years. The sweet one. The one who only came out when he wanted to manipulate her. Her stomach churned. "I brought you something," he said, pulling out a small black box. "I've been thinking. Maybe I haven't been fair to you." He opened it. Diamond earrings. Large. Expensive. A peace offering from a guilty man. "I want us to start fresh," Logan continued. "I know I've been busy, distracted, but you're my wife, Hannah, my partner, and I don't want to lose you." Every word felt like sugar-coated poison. She had rehearsed 100 responses, anger, questions, accusations, but instead she whispered, "Why now?" Logan stepped closer, cupping her cheek the way he used to. "Because I realized how much you mean to me. I don't want misunderstandings between us." Misunderstandings, as if everything she'd seen was imagined. He pulled her into a gentle embrace, but his hand, his left hand, slipped to her pocket. The pocket where she had once kept the necklace receipt. Her body stiffened. He was checking her, searching for evidence, confirming what she knew. He pulled back, smile unwavering. "You didn't go anywhere unusual today, did you?" There it was, the sweetness fading at the edges, the control returning beneath the charm. "No," Hannah said softly, because now she understood the game. Logan needed her to calm down, to trust him again, to stop investigating. He was buying time. Time to finish whatever he was planning. She forced a shaky smile. "We can start fresh." Logan's eyes warmed with satisfaction. "Good," he whispered. "I knew you'd come around." But as he walked past her, Hannah felt it. He didn't know she was already planning her escape. 2 weeks later, Hannah stepped out of the black Mercedes Ethan had arranged for her, the warm California air brushing against her skin like a reminder that she was far from Manhattan, and far from the woman she had been there. Beverly Hills glowed under 1,000 golden lights as luxury cars lined the entrance of the International Biotech and Innovation Gala, the event Logan had bragged about for months. He never expected she would show up, especially not like this. Hannah smoothed the deep navy satin of her evening gown, the fabric draping over her frame with quiet strength instead of fragility. Her hair swept into elegant waves, her makeup soft but striking. She didn't look like the trembling woman crying in a bookstore cafe. She looked reborn. Ethan stepped out beside her in a tailored black tux, offering his arm. "Ready?" She exhaled slowly. "More than I expected." As they walked toward the grand doors, cameras flashed, not at her, but at Ethan. He was well known in the finance world, and being on his arm automatically made guests' eyes shift toward her. She felt her spine straighten. Inside, chandeliers sparkled overhead like falling stars. The room buzzed with CEOs, investors, politicians, people whose decisions changed markets. People who mattered. And then the room shifted. No, tightened. Because Logan saw her.
He froze mid-conversation, drink in hand, his face draining of color. Beside him stood Aurora in a shimmering gold dress, clinging to his arm like a trophy he wasn't ready to display. But tonight, Hannah was the one who drew every eye. Logan recovered with a strained smile.
Hannah, I didn't know you were coming. I'm full of surprises, she answered evenly, her fingers steady in Ethan's arm. Aurora's gaze sharpened. You look different.
Hannah smiled politely. Thank you. Logan stepped closer, lowering his voice. We need to talk, privately. Ethan stepped in before Hannah could answer. Actually, we're here for business. If you need to schedule something with her, you can contact her directly. Logan's eyes flashed. And who are you to her? Hannah met his gaze, unflinching, unbroken. Someone who tells me the truth. Logan's jaw clenched with barely controlled anger. But before he could respond, a ripple of murmurs spread across the room. A senior board member approached the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an urgent announcement regarding Silver Pulse Technologies. Logan stiffened. Aurora paled.
Ethan leaned in, whispering, This is it. Hannah felt the air crackle. Whatever was coming next would change everything. The ballroom fell into an eerie hush as the board member approached the podium. Her heels clicked sharply against the marble floor, echoing through the silence. The screens behind her flickered with the Silver Pulse logo, then went black. Hannah felt the air tighten around her like a held breath. Ladies and gentlemen, the board member began, we have received new federal findings regarding Silver Pulse Technologies. Certain executives are now subjects of an active criminal investigation. Logan's glass shattered on the floor. Aurora flinched. Ethan's grip on Hannah's hand tightened. The board member continued. The evidence points to the misuse of corporate funds, forged approvals, and unauthorized international transfers. Whispers rippled across the room like shockwaves. Hannah's knees weakened. Ethan steadied her. Beside them, Logan struggled to mask his panic. He muttered, This can't be happening. Valerie said she had everything under control. But the next words froze him solid. It is with deep regret, the board member said, that we announce the immediate suspension of Logan Reynolds, pending further federal review. All eyes snapped toward him. Aurora's hand slipped from his arm. Logan's voice cracked. No, this is a mistake. Valerie would never let... He stopped mid-sentence. Because Valerie Kincaid, impeccably dressed, flawless, formidable, was stepping toward the stage with a smile that wasn't a smile. She took the microphone. It is the board's duty, Valerie said coolly, to cooperate fully with investigators. No executive, regardless of position, will be shielded. Her tone made it clear. She was sacrificing Logan to save herself. Hannah watched the realization dawn on his face. The panic, the betrayal, the understanding that the woman he tried to impress, the woman for whom he bought the necklace, was abandoning him publicly. Aurora stepped back from him completely, eyes wide with horror. The mask she carried so elegantly shattered. This is your fault, she hissed at Logan. You said Valerie would protect us. But Valerie's security guards were already moving toward them. Logan shook his head violently. Hannah, he choked out, voice trembling. Do something. Tell them I'm innocent. You're my wife. Hannah stepped forward, not to help, but to end it. Logan, she said quietly enough for only him to hear. You destroyed every part of my life. My marriage, my health, my future. His eyes filled with desperation. She met his gaze, calm, steady, resolute. I will not save you. Security escorted him away as the crowd watched in stunned silence. And as Logan disappeared behind the ballroom doors, Hannah felt an unfamiliar sensation wash through her. Not fear, not heartbreak. Freedom. The moment the ballroom doors swung shut behind Logan, the tension in the room released like a snapped wire.
Conversations erupted instantly, whispers turning into speculation, speculation into judgment. Executives exchanged sharp glances, investors pulled out their phones, and journalists in the corner scrambled to grab footage. But Hannah stood perfectly still. For the first time in months, her body wasn't trembling. Her breath wasn't shallow.
Her heart wasn't racing. She felt steady. Ethan stepped beside her, voice low. "You did the right thing." She nodded, though her chest ached with the echo of everything she had endured. "He never gave me a choice." Across the room, Aurora stood alone, her golden dress shimmering under the harsh ballroom lights. But the confidence she always carried had vanished. She looked small, cornered. When her eyes met Hannah's, there was no triumph left, no arrogance, just fear. She walked toward Hannah slowly, heels wobbling slightly. "I didn't know it would end like this," Aurora whispered. "Logan said Valerie would protect us. He said we were safe." Hannah studied her carefully. For the first time, Aurora looked less like the woman who wrecked her marriage, and more like another casualty of Logan's manipulation. "You thought you were special to him," Hannah said quietly. "You weren't." Aurora's eyes filled with regret. "You warned me, without ever saying a word." But Hannah didn't gloat. She didn't lash out. Because this wasn't about Aurora anymore. Logan had played them both. Aurora took a shaky breath. "The feds will question me. I don't know what to do." Hannah felt a strange calm settle over her. "Tell the truth. All of it." Aurora nodded, voice breaking. "They're going to bury him, aren't they?" Hannah looked toward the closed doors, imagining Logan's rage, his panic, his unraveling facade. "Yes," she said softly. "And this time, he did it to himself." A staff member approached the women. "Ma'am," he addressed Hannah, "the board would like to speak with you and Mr. Lennox privately." Ethan touched her elbow. "Ready?" Hannah lifted her chin. "I'm done being afraid." As they walked toward the executive lounge, the crowd parted instinctively. People who once looked past her now stepped aside, whispering her name with awe, not pity. Tonight wasn't the end of Logan. It was the end of his power, and the beginning of hers. The executive lounge was quiet, luxurious, secluded, and miles away from the chaos unfolding outside. Hannah stood near the window, gazing at the Los Angeles skyline glittering beneath the night sky. For the first time in months, she wasn't shaking. She wasn't drowning. She wasn't afraid. She was free. The board members entered one by one, their expressions respectful, almost deferential. Valerie Kincaid followed them, her posture impeccable as ever. But tonight, the power she carried wasn't intimidating. It was revealing. "Hannah," Valerie began, "we owe you an apology." We weren't aware of how deeply Logan's misconduct reached. That was a lie. Hannah could see it in her eyes, but tonight wasn't the night to fight Valerie. Logan was gone. Valerie would face her consequences eventually. Hannah simply nodded. "I just want to protect myself." "And you've done exactly that," Valerie replied. "Your name is cleared. Every fraudulent document traced back to Logan alone. You won't be implicated." A breath she didn't realize she'd been holding finally released. Valerie turned to Ethan. "And thank you for assisting us tonight, Mr. Lennox. Your cooperation will be noted." After the board left, Ethan approached Hannah with a soft, relieved smile. "It's over." Hannah felt the truth of those words settle into her bones. "Yes, it is." They walked out of the hotel together, the warm California night wrapping around them. The valet brought the Mercedes forward, but Ethan gently touched her arm. "You know," he said lightly, "you don't have to go back to New York right away. You could stay, rest, breathe." Hannah looked up at him, really looked, at the steadiness in his eyes, the warmth in his voice,
the unwavering way he had stood beside her through every terrifying moment. "For the first time in a long time," she whispered, "I feel like I can breathe." Ethan smiled, softer now. "Then maybe we can take the next breath together." Her heart fluttered, not with fear, but with something tender, something new, something she hadn't thought she would ever feel again. Hope. She nodded, tears pricking her eyes, not from pain this time, but from healing. "I'd like that." And as they stepped into the night, side by side, Hannah felt the final truth settle in her soul. Logan had taken everything from her, but life was giving it back, piece by piece, stronger, brighter, hers. A new beginning had finally arrived. So, that's it, my wonderful friends. Our story has come to an end, and if you're still here with me right now, listening to these final words, then something in Hannah's journey must have touched your heart in a very real way. Maybe you've been through betrayal. Maybe you've carried pain quietly. Or maybe you're simply someone who believes in second chances and inner strength. Whatever brought you here, I see you. This story isn't just about infidelity or revenge. It's about rediscovering your worth. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." And that's exactly what Hannah learned. She couldn't control Logan's lies, but she could control how she chose to rise above them. She chose clarity over chaos, truth over fear, self-respect over attachment, and healing over hatred. If her journey reminded you of your own strength, even a little, I hope you carry that with you. We all deserve a life built on honesty, peace, and people who truly care for us. If this story moved you, helped you, or stayed with you in any way, please like the video, share it with someone who might need it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next journey we walk through together. You're not alone, and you're stronger than you think. This story is a work of fiction, created purely for emotional entertainment and personal reflection. None of the characters, events, or companies described are real, and any resemblance to actual people or situations is completely coincidental. Our purpose is to explore themes of resilience, healing, and personal growth through dramatic storytelling, not to make factual claims or represent real-world investigations, relationships, or legal outcomes. Everything you heard is crafted as a narrative experience meant to inspire, encourage, and comfort viewers who enjoy this genre of storytelling. Please understand that no part of this content should be taken as advice, accusation, or documentation of real events. It's simply a fictional journey designed to touch the heart and spark meaningful conversations. Thank you for supporting creative storytelling and helping keep this space safe, honest, and enjoyable for everyone.